Hello friends. So today's topic is Turing machine. Okay, so in this video we are going to discuss a basic concept about Turing machine, what is the basic model of Turing machine, how we represent a Turing machine. So if we discuss about the basics or just a history of Turing machine, so it is a term from computer science and it was first described in 1936, okay, by an English mathematician and computer scientist, that is Alan Turing. Okay, so it was first discussed in 1936 by a mathematician called Alan Turing. So if we define the Turing machine, then it is a system of rules, okay, states and transition rather than the real machines. So a Turing machine can be defined as a system which defines some set of rules, some states and the transition between the states rather than some real machine. Okay, and there are two purposes for which a Turing machine will be used. The first purpose is, so there are two purposes. First purpose is deciding about formal language, and the second purpose is solving mathematical function. So these are two purposes for which Turing machine can be used. Okay, so it is also used to accept recursively enumerable language, and this recursively enumerable language is generated by type 0 grammar according to the Chomsky grammar. So this recursively enumerable grammar language means, recursively means repeating same set of rules, any number of times. This means recursive. And innumerable means, a list of elements. So this Turing machine, it is used to accept this type of enumerable language, which is also known as type 0 grammar. And this Turing machine is the most powerful machine which can be accept any type of languages. Okay, so if we talk about the model, the basic model of a Turing machine, then it can be modeled with the help of the following representation. So the first representation will be that is input tape. So the first model of a Turing machine is input tape. This input tape can be represented by like this. Like this. Okay, so the input tape is having an infinite number of cells and each cell containing one input symbol, and thus the input string can be placed on this tape, and the empty tape is filled by a blank character. Suppose if we have an input string ABA, okay, so this input string or input symbol is filled into this input tape like this, A, B, A, and the remaining empty tape is filled by some empty character, blank character, which we denoted by delta, and in some book the blank character is denoted like this. So you can use this or either you can use this. So this input tape, the first component of the Turing machine is the input tape. So this input tape is having an infinite number of cells, and in each cell we contain a set of one input symbol, and thus this input string, like this, for example, if we have input string ABA, so we filled A, B, A, and the remaining we will filled by the blank character. Okay, so this is the first component. The second component of the Turing machine is finite control. So what is finite control? Suppose this is our input tape in which we have infinite number of cells, and if this is a finite control, and this finite control suppose map to this cell of the input tape, so this finite control and the tape head, this is called tape head. Okay, so the finite control and the tape head, which is responsible for reading the current input symbol, and the tape head can be either moved to the left or it can either move to the right. This means that suppose if we are having a string like ABA, and if we place this ABA like this, and if this input head, or you can say tape head, is positioned to this cell, this means that it currently read this character A, and which is also responsible for the finite control. Okay, so the first component is input tape, the second is finite control, and a finite set of states through which machine has to undergo, and finite set of symbols called external symbols, which are used in building the logic of a Turing machine. So now we discuss that how we represent a Turing machine. So for the representation of Turing machine, in short, the Turing machine will be represented by TM. So for the representation, it is represented by 7 tuple. And what are the 7 tuples are? 7 tuples are Q, T, B, sigma, transition function, Q naught, and F. Now, what is Q? Q is finite set of states. Q can be represented as finite set of state. This T represented as tape alphabet. Tape alphabet means the input symbols that are placed in this input tape. So this T is input alphabet, which are symbols are written on the tape. Now B, capital B is blank symbol that we represented by delta, means the input string that we are having. So we place this input one by one in one cell, and the remaining empty tape will be represented by or we can say it is filled by the blank symbol that is called del. So B is blank symbol. Now sigma is input alphabet and symbols which are a part of the input alphabets. Okay, then transition function. So this transition function, which maps like this, Q into T, it gives Q into T into either L or R. What does it mean? This means that depending upon the current state, okay, depending upon the present state and the present tape symbol or present tape alphabet, which is pointed by the head pointer, it will move to the next state. This is the next state, okay, and it changed the tape symbol. It may or may not be changed, and move the head pointer either to the left of the tape, or R stands for the right of the tape. So this transition function can be defined as that depending upon the present state and the present tape symbol, it will move to the new state, and it may or may not change the tape symbol, and move the head pointer either to the left or the right. Okay. Now this Q naught is initial state, and F is set of final states. And if any state of F is reached, their input symbol is accepted. So the Turing machine can be represented by with the help of these 7 tuple. And this is the basics about the Turing machine. So what the history of the Turing machine, what are the basic models, or you can say what are the components, or how we represent a Turing machine with the help of some tuple. So I hope you understood this, and still if you have any query, then you can ask in our comment section, and keep watching our video. And in my next video, I am going to discuss the language which are accepted by a Turing machine with the help of some example. So keep watching our video. Thank you so much.